the Wrestle Story, we discuss all things wrestling, the legends of the past, the superstars of the present, and the trailblazers of the future. We stream every Monday after Raw, every Wednesday after AEW and NXT, every Thursday after NXT UK, and every Friday after SmackDown.
Yes.
Tonight, Raw.
Yes, it is Monday. Hello.
It is Monday.
What is up? How is everybody doing?
Monday.
Okay. Tonight's Raw was okay.
It wasn't bad. I think it was.
This is the first time in a while that it hasn't been like, wow, this was such a good Raw tonight.
It's probably the weakest of the Raws this year.
Yes.
But I didn't think it was bad.
Yes. I would say so.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's my, first thoughts on tonight's show.
Yeah. I agree.
It's just like, okay, whatever. So we start the show off with Randy Orton. He comes out and he's like, take a look at the screen.
Yep, he said a lot.
And so we watch the video, and, it's all cool. Just kind of a recap of, I beat the crap out of Edge, and I beat the crap out of Matt Hardy. And yeah, that's where we are now. So, we have that, and then Matt Hardy comes out, and he's like, I still want my answer, or whatever. I'm not being cleared to compete here tonight, because we were supposed to have a no-holds-barred match. But I'm not being cleared to compete, and so I want an answer. Why'd you do it, Randy? What were you thinking, Randy? And Randy apologizes.
Yes. Several times he said, I'm sorry.
Several times, yes.
As he was hitting with the chair.
Yes. So he apologizes, and then, Hardy gets RKO'd. Per what everybody thought.
Yes.
And I was thinking something a lot bigger was going to happen. In all honesty.
I thought it was good.
I thought someone was going to come out and, help him or, something.
I thought there was a possibility, but I also knew that they were planning on writing Matt Hardy off of, or they are planning on writing Matt Hardy off of WWE, so this was a way to do it. You actually put him out completely.
I get.
And so I think it's pretty cool what they did.
I get it. And, whatever. I knew Matt Hardy was getting written off TV. Next week is the last week before his contract is up. So he's not going to be back. So Matt gets killed. And it's like, okay. Okay. See, this is confusing. Because, I said this a couple weeks ago, I don't think Randy has any idea why he did what he did.
Nope.
I think he has no clue. He just did it. And now he's like, crap, I shouldn't have done that.
How you doing, James? I think that, here's what I think.
He's really conflicted on
well, there's one of two things that could happen here. I think he could either go with Seth and be part of that group, or the Fiend gets involved with him somehow.
Which I think would be cool because Bray and Randy have history.
And so
because you specifically said a hurt heel type situation. That's kind of what you got from this was he apologized for what he did,
and then he hit him again.
Yeah. So the hurt and heel thing makes a whole lot of sense, and
they could tie this into a Fiend thing pretty quick and pretty easy.
I think
they can make it interesting doing it that way.
I agree. 100%. So I'm curious to see where they go with this, to say the least. Confused a little bit, but curious nevertheless. So after this we got what, in my opinion, was a very pointless match. Aleister Black and Eric Rowan. I thought, because they announced this beforehand, because They announced this beforehand. I thought that something was gonna happen. Like, we saw what was in the cage. But apparently not. It was just Aleister Black beat Eric Rowan.
Yeah, this is another one I thought, I thought, why, if they're never going to show what's in Rowan's cage, then why even have it?
Exactly.
Tonight was a perfect chance to do it. I'm so over what's in the cage. I know. I thought they could have ended it tonight with Aleister Black beating him. They could have ended the whole cage thing with him like right away. It could have been done tonight.
Just doesn't make
And so I don't know
anything.
what the point is now.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Unless this is the beginning of finding out what's in the cage.
Where they're gonna have a series of matches.
Yeah. Or they're gonna do something, at one of the pay-per-views. How you doing, Zando?
What is up? Hey everyone, Raw is okay. It wasn't top level.
I agree.
I agree.
We kind of said the same thing. We said that that it was.
It was okay.
It wasn't.
Not the worst Raw I've ever seen, but it wasn't like.
It wasn't bad, but compared to what they've had recently, it wasn't as good.
Yeah.
I like the beginning. I like what they did with Randy.
That's in my top 3 segments of the show.
The Aleister Black Rowan match, I just wish they would have done something with the cage. But if it leads to them like in a feud or something, and then we find out what's in the cage, then I suppose I'm okay with it.
I suppose so. So it did take 2 black masses to get Eric Rowan down. He kicked him once and he was like, and then he kicked him again.
Hey, thanks for the follow.
So that was pretty cool, I suppose, because it took 2 to get Rowan down, which in my eyes makes more sense than just having like. But I suppose if you want to make Aleister Black look really like next level, especially with Rowan being such a big guy, having him get taken out by 1 black mass instead of the 2 would have made Aleister Black look leaps and bounds better, I suppose.
That is my daughter.
Like, leaps and bounds better?
Yeah.
If it was 1. But I understand, too. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I suppose. So, we then... Aleister Black won, if you couldn't guess that. We get Charlotte. I actually liked this segment because it explained things a little bit as to why Charlotte wants to go after the NXT Women's Championship, which I appreciate. So she essentially just recaps last night and how she accepted. That's right. She accepted Rhea's challenge, and then she says, I started reminiscing. I started thinking about my class and how we built what NXT is today. We were the foundation of NXT. And it's because of women like Rhea that, they haven't had to fight and claw for the opportunities that they're getting. And they have just such this entitlement, and it's ridiculous.
Zandale, I agree. I think it's going to turn into a triple threat match. I don't like it because I hate triple threat matches for titles.
She then goes on to say,
I hate triple threat matches in general, but I really hate triple threat matches for titles.
I think you're good, Rhea. I think you're really good. But I'm going to humble you at WrestleMania. I liked that she gave this kind of her spin on why she is
going after Rhea.
It made it make sense, I suppose, in the aspect of she thinks that that they're very entitled and they think that they should be handed everything they've been given when Charlotte did have to work her butt off to get to where she was in NXT, and Becky had to work her butt off to get to where they were in NXT, and Sasha had to work their butt off to get to where they were in NXT, and she feels disrespected because they're just kind of stomping all over everything they did. It makes it make sense.
Sort of, but Rhea really hasn't done anything like disrespectful. So I don't understand the whole idea behind the whole disrespect thing, and you need to respect this, and you need to respect that.
I can get that. I get what you're saying, but I think it's more of just an aspect of, like, Rhea's the current champion, and I think Charlotte might be talking about just, like, where it's been as a whole, you know?
Yeah.
And I think she made it make sense. And it makes more sense to me as to why she's going after the NXT championship, because before it was just kind of like, you've already had it. It really doesn't make any sense to me why you're going after it again.
Yeah.
But now it makes more sense.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
She feels that the title that she made relevant is.
But it doesn't make sense.
You know,
that part doesn't make sense to me. It's like they're being disrespected, but it's not. I mean, like I said, Rhea hasn't done anything to disrespect the title. She's just won it. So
I mean, definitely not. But I think it's more so the fact that she came up to Raw and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna challenge you," and blah 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 blah, and she like.
Which is fine if you want to make it don't make it. I'm gonna come back take the title because it's a disrespect thing. Make it a. You came up, you attacked me on my show, and now I'm coming after you.
You mean to tell me Matt Hardy has no friends? No one helped him. Exactly.
Scott, I have no clue. Apparently, he has no friends.
See, I was honestly waiting for, like, Edge to come up. Like, I thought what was going to happen was Matt was almost going to get ripped to shreds, and then Edge was going to come out and spear the ever-living crap out of Randy Orton. And that's what we were going to be left with in the crowd, was just going to be so nuts.
Maybe nobody wants to mess with Randy Orton right now.
That's also a possibility.
I didn't watch much of Raw. I was more concerned about NASCAR driver that got hurt today in an accident. Yes, I did see that.
I saw that. It was pretty nasty.
Quite a wreck.
Yeah, definitely. So...
I felt bad for Matt. Well, since they're writing him off, I thought this was a good way to do it.
I liked what they did last week.
I love the way they did this, because this was an excellent way to write him off of the show.
I get that. I wish they would have just left it at what they did last week, because I feel like this week, not that it was overkill, but it was kind of overkill.
No, I don't think it was overkill. I think this is a way to show...
I was hoping Christian would come out and stop
Yeah,
him.
I was hoping he'd come out too. Would have been kind of cool. I think this was a way to show that the whole... Without having Randy Orton destroy somebody else that's going to be staying there, this was a way to show where Randy Orton's thought process is right now.
Yeah.
So I think this was good, and I think this was excellent in the way they did it.
I suppose so.
Because if Matt Hardy is leaving for sure, which it sounds like he is, then doing it this way makes more sense than bringing someone out from
I guess it makes Randy look more devastating and more like, oh, he's the one that took Matt Hardy out.
Well, it makes it look like he has no clue what he's doing.
True.
I mean, like, when he's hitting him with the chair and he's going, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yo,
Hello, Forgetty.
What up? Hype,
So, I like the way this was done. It was good.
So, after the Charlotte thing, we have this...
Yes, I agree. I think Edge is going to destroy Randy at some point in time.
Yo, what up, homies?
Not much.
Not much.
Not much.
So then we got this, like, squash truth 24/7. I don't know what the point of this was. It was just, like, literally 2 minutes, and I just don't get it. It was Riddick Moss versus R-Truth versus Mojo Rawley for the 24/7 championship. Moss retains. Once again, I say, what? The 24/7 championship needs to go away.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
It needs to go away.
Well, I'm okay with it if they...
If Truth has it. If Truth is the 24/7 champion 24/7, then cool.
Well,
I'm cool with that.
They need to make it mean something.
But, like, putting it on Moss...
But right now it means nothing.
No, Moss isn't even established. Moss means nothing, okay? Nobody, I bet you 99.9% of the people don't have a clue who Riddick Moss is.
No.
I had no clue who he was until 2 weeks ago.
No.
I'd heard the name before, but I've never seen any of his stuff.
Well, I'm cool with him winning. I'm cool with him
like,
winning. I'm cool with him being out
just,
there.
I don't know. Keeping it on him just to me makes no sense. So, whatever. That's just me, though. We then get Drew versus MVP, who I thought had his last match like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he's back.
Apparently he's back.
Back again.
You know, he was like, I got a match, I'm leaving, but I'm back.
Shady's back.
Because, yes. So, Drew versus MVP. Drew comes out. He does like a let's hype up the crowd thing. They all point to the sign together. I thought this was really cool. The crowd loves Drew. I love Drew. Drew's the greatest. Like, he's one of the best that they have on Raw right now. And I'm so glad he's getting the opportunity to fight for the championship at WrestleMania. And I'm so glad he's going to win. Because I'll put money on that. Money I don't have. That's how confident I am.
That's right. It's easy to put money on it when you don't have it.
So...
Of course, that's when Randy Orton type people come around and they hit you with a chair and go, I'm sorry.
So, Drew did what Drew does best at this point. He hypes up the crowd. And then, Heyman comes out. And I'm like, I love this. Because the people, literally, that were I don't know what, 3 weeks ago, being like, oh, Brock's gonna show up. Oh, Brock's gonna be around. Oh, Brock will be there. Yeah, he's gonna show up.
Yeah.
Where was Brock tonight, people? He wasn't there.
No.
Okay? So I just want to say to all those people, which I don't think it's anybody that's in here right now, but to all those people that were like, oh, Brock's gonna stick around, Brock's gonna be there. I told you so. I told you he wasn't. I told you so.
Matt Hardy's not re-signing.
No.
Just saying, Elijah. He's not going to resign.
He's not resigning.
Zendel, we'll talk about Seth. I have some thoughts on Seth, too. Maven doesn't like him, but I'll tell you my thoughts. MVP is back. He's coming. And Rowan... Yeah, I don't know why MVP is back. The Rowan Black thing was okay. I just wish they would have done more with it. Found out what was in the cage. And Matt Hardy...
Oh, my gosh. Let's talk about that, too. You said awesome. I was mad at the crowd chanting one more time. What was up with this crowd? They were cheering for Randy. Did they just really dislike Matt Hardy, or what was the deal?
No, I don't think that they dislike Matt Hardy. I think the fact that here's what I think is the deal. Because if they would have just made, they've kind of taken Randy Orton out of a full heel here, and he's doing,
a confused heel.
Well, he's doing the same thing like the Fiend does, the hurt heel thing. Mm-hmm. And so people can't figure out, because for whatever reason.
Am I supposed to like him or hate him? Do I like him or do I hate him? I kind of like him, but I also kind of hate him.
Because Raw fans or just wrestling fans in general can't figure out, okay, he's a heel and has no clue what he's doing. But because he's going, I'm sorry, but I'm going to hit you again. I'm sorry, but I'm going to hit you again. I'm sorry, but I'm going to hit you again. The fans just can't seem to get it and don't understand it and don't realize that he's a heel.
I suppose so. I don't know, man. I just don't know. Sorry.
I think that's what a lot of it is. Because last week or a couple weeks ago when he went after Hardy, or after when he did the RKO and Edge, people booed him.
Yeah, because it was
last week when he did it on Matt Hardy. People booed him. Mm-hmm. But since he's been doing this, I have no clue what I'm doing or have no clue who I am. The crowd's kind of
huh?
Yeah.
So, Drew and MVP. Whatever. This was a whatever match. Heyman came out. He did his whole thing. He was like,
let's go Cena sucks.
Introducing Brock Lesnar. And then Brock Lesnar didn't show up. And I was just kind of like, walk, 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 walk. Whatever. I knew he wasn't going to be there. Drew won the match. Cool. He needed to win. Cool.
Becky's promo was good.
Yeah, we're about to get to that, man.
Getting to it right now.
I actually thought this is one of the best segments they had on the show.
That whole segment with Orton and Matt Hardy was awesome, I thought.
This next segment. Well, first we get a recap of Shayna and Becky from last week. Then we get Becky. She comes out. This whole segment, this whole promo from both of these women, it was just so good. I just love it. This whole feud is going to be so good because Shayna can push Becky to different limits than the other women on the roster can. Very similarly to how Ronda did. Similarly, but different. Shayna's going to push Becky in a little bit different of a way. But it's going to be very similar to the way Ronda pushed Becky. And they worked very well together. And Shayna and Becky already, you know, with the minimal interactions that they've had, they work really well together.
Yeah.
And people really buy into it and really enjoy it. And I am one of those people. So we start off, Becky comes out, she has a bag. And I'm like, what the garbage is in this bag? Are you Eric Rowan now? Are you just carrying around weird things like in a cage, in a bag? And what? Is that Shayna's head? Did you kill Shayna? Is Shayna's head in that bag? Like, come on. So she comes out, she has the bag, she dumps it out, it's full of money. And she says, consider this a down payment on violence. I'm telling you now, bad things are going to happen when I find Shayna. Now, Shayna. I've gone through everyone. Natalya, Asuka, Charlotte, Sasha, and even Ronda. Okay? I've gone through them all. You're going to be no different. Okay? It's just going to be a little more violent because you seem to like to take things to the next level here, so...
I'm curious to see how far they take it.
With what?
This whole thing.
This?
Yeah, if they're trying to keep it PG and stuff like that, how far will they take this?
I don't know, but tonight, I wasn't expecting what they did tonight.
I mean, when you start having the biting of the back of the neck and having blood squirting everywhere or dripping everywhere, not so much squirting everywhere, but you have that happen, it's like, or tonight with Randy Orton, like, making...
See, I'll share my thoughts on that. I'll share my thoughts on that in one segment.
There's a segment, there's a picture of Randy Orton, like, hitting Matt Hardy with a chair that's like the still frame picture of it. And I looked at it and I was like, man, that looks like Matt Hardy's head has been smashed into the steps.
So, Shayna
reminds me of The Walking Dead.
I wouldn't know because I don't watch stuff like that. No.
Cool.
So Shayna then shows up on the screen and she says...
By the way, hello, little fettuccine. I agree the show was not great tonight, but I thought it was okay. I mean, it wasn't as good as it has been, but wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Definitely. Shayna shows up on the screen. She says, I am in the Elimination Chamber match, which we'll talk about that as soon as we're done with this segment. She says, I have a chance to fight at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship. Now, this match is in a cage. And if you don't, if you've forgotten here, this is where I came from. So I will chew through all 5 other women. And Becky, you know better than anybody that I most certainly will. Now last week, I didn't plan to rip a chunk of your neck out. But just imagine the things that I do have planned. She then goes on to say with her finishing line, Becky, I'm going to tear the living shit out of you. No, like,
censor.
Beep over it or anything. There was no censor.
No.
And I was just like, whoa. It caught me off guard because I wasn't expecting anything to happen. And so I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this feud, guys. You have no idea how excited I am for this feud.
I think it could be good.
I am so
excited.
Right,
this could be really good.
I think they're going to do this good. If this is in the hands of Heyman, I think this is going... And if Triple H gets a say in it too, because Shayna's from NXT...
I'll answer your question in a second, James.
I think this was... I think this is going to be so good. So good. Like, so good.
Hey, that's cool, little fettuccine.
So good.
That'd be awesome.
So good. Man, I just can't wait to see this feud blow up. Like,
Yeah,
it's already so good. And, like, okay, so the funny thing is, Vince, like, just a couple weeks ago, put out a thing, and he was like, oh, well, we're not going to change our content from PG to PG, TV, 13, 14, whatever it is, because other companies are. We're going to stay PG because we're one of the only ones that is left. And I'm like, bruh. The last 2 weeks, Shayna, Blood, Becky, not so PG there. Matt Hardy getting his head smashed in to steel steps, not so PG. Shayna dropping words, not so PG. I'm like, bro, you rethinking this whole thing?
Yeah. You know what? This whole thing could be really good.
I think they shouldn't put any limits on Becky and Shayna because Shayna has no limits.
Well, I don't think they should put limits.
Looking at Shayna.
But the issue you have is if the plan is to keep everything still PG, then you have to watch what you're doing.
Exactly, which is where the issue lies here. Like, Shayna has no limits. And, like, she has no limits. And I don't think you need to put limits on her and Becky because I think they can create something amazing if they aren't put inside a square box.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean,
so I think they should let them, like, just rip each other apart. Do crazy stuff with them.
Well, I think they need to. I think it's going to make it interesting if they do that. Again, it's the whole PG thing. They have to figure out how to do keep it PG if that's the plan. Unless they're planning on to go a little bit different and do something that way, then I don't know. We'll see what happens. I feel WWE's starting to move away from PG since Vince is having his hands in everything now and focusing on XFL more. That's possible. That might be one of the reasons that we're starting to see some of this stuff that's happening. And I mean, we'll see what happens.
If Heyman is like
in
charge, definitely I think
a circle box on Bruce is writing the Wrestle Story now.
So I don't know. If Heyman's in charge, I think there's a good possibility that we get some more like stepping outside of the WWE comfort zone, which is what's gonna make people go, oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Elijah, I'll talk about Seth here in a minute about the ministry and everything. I think what they're doing is pretty cool with that.
I agree.
But as far as this Becky and Shayna thing, I think what they're doing
is amazing.
Is really good, and hopefully they don't change it. Hopefully they just let them cut loose when they do, throughout this whole feud. They cannot when they do attack one another, they need to make sure that they're just letting it go and not like, okay, we got to make sure that we're careful with this because, I mean, hit people with chairs and have blood.
Do it.
I think that's what you have to do.
I 100% agree because, honestly, staying in, the standards of whatever we're supposed to, the standards, Shayna doesn't do that. No. That doesn't fit Shayna at all. Especially with the fact that last week, based on what she said tonight, with the whole, I didn't plan to bite a chunk of your neck out last week, but just imagine the things I have planned. It makes me think, ooh, we could be heading in a fun direction.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited. This feud, you guys, this feud is so exciting, and it's just, I love it.
Yeah.
I can't.
As long as they keep it going this way, I think it'd be good. Raw can be ruthless aggression, and if it's booked right, SmackDown can be the same. But it's the booking right now for SmackDown is not good. Definitely, they need to do something with SmackDown. But Raw right now has been. I mean, even tonight, I didn't think it wasn't up to the expectations of the last couple Raws. But
there were definitely segments that were really good, but it was just like the whole show overall. It just, to me, it just felt really slow, and it felt like it dragged on forever.
Well, but I mean, overall, you really didn't have a bad show. I mean, I thought, overall, the whole show, turning into WCW 2001. I mean, we had the Randy Matt thing. I thought was awesome. Aleister Black and Eric Rowan could have been awesome if they would like do something with the stupid cage. They could have made that really good. Charlotte, I thought the Charlotte thing was good. The Riddick Moss R-Truth Mojo was
Who cares?
okay. Wasn't like, wow. The Drew versus MVP, I don't know what the point was
Whatever.
of that.
Becky Shayna
The
segment.
Becky Shayna segment is good.
Amazing.
Which
Love
brings
that.
us to another segment that I'm like, okay,
Whatever.
what's the point?
Lashley
promo.
and Garza versus Humberto and Rusev. I don't give a flying fig about this anymore.
That's right, a flying fig.
I don't care.
Or a fig that's just sitting there, we don't care.
I don't care. Like, throwing Lashley and Rusev into this just automatically makes me not care. Okay? Just don't care. Just don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
How you doing, Clark?
Like, it's just not for me. Garza and Lashley won.
All right, James.
Question.
Hey, James, your question about your iPad. What are you looking to do with your iPad? Or what are you looking to do with whatever it is you're going to get?
I have a question.
So I see. Garza don't care about his family. Yeah, definitely.
I have a question.
He doesn't like his cousins. Just his cousins. His brothers and sisters are cool.
I have a question.
Just his cousins.
Garza and Zelina. Lana made this comment about, she made a comment about the two greatest couples in WWE currently. And Zelina was like, we're not a couple, it's just business. And Garza was like, well, what are they doing with that? I think they're going to do Andrade versus Garza at WrestleMania for the United States Championship. That's what I think they're going to do.
Possibly.
I think that will be a big moment for him.
Yeah.
If he wins. Which I have a feeling he might. And it explains why he's not going after the Cruiserweight Championship anymore.
Yeah. Possible.
If that is the case.
How much you looking to spend, James?
I think it might.
I hate the outcome, but it makes sense putting on a tag team match with guys who is in the story. Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's just. I'd rather just see him go one-on-one or time interfere in something else. I mean, it would just make it better. I can't stand smarks that think today's wrestling is better because the guys and gals do flips, kicks, and dives. I 100% agree, Clark. I think that the art of the thing that made wrestling really good was the wrestling, but it was the storyline that went with it. It was the promos. It was the everything else that went with it, and not just getting in the ring and having a match. And SmackDown, I wanted to get the NBC app and the DirecTV app, about $175. I don't know if you can get one that cheap or not.
WrestleMania Becky versus Shayna.
But I would recommend an iPad.
Ripley and
You
Bayley
just might have to spend
versus
more than that.
Belair. I don't think it's going to be Bayley
I
versus
think a
Belair.
cheap one's about $300, but you might be able to find one cheaper, like refurbished or something, or a used one. Just kind of look around, James. You might be able to find one.
So,
I love my iPad. I use it all the time.
Garza and Lashley won.
WrestleMania, Becky versus Shayna, and Flair versus Ripley, and Bayley versus Belair.
I don't think it's going to be Bayley versus Belair.
I could handle that. I mean, if they did that, that'd be cool.
I think it's going to be Bayley versus Naomi. Because I don't think it's going to be Bayley versus Sasha. It might be Bayley versus Sasha, and if it is, I'm going to be shocked. But I just have a feeling it might be Bayley versus Naomi. They might run with that because Naomi is back, and she's really over, and people really like her.
Yeah.
So
Belair might interfere in the Flair Ripley match.
I think she might be in the Flair Ripley match.
I told you I hate it.
Tag team titles.
I don't care at this point. New Day versus Morrison and Miz.
Morrison and Miz are going to win the titles, I'm telling you. And then they're going to break up, and then they're going to
have
a match
at WrestleMania. I think a lot of it is people
WrestleMania.
just don't care about the tag titles in general.
Like,
the tag team divisions are terrible.
I was just going to ask, who even are, like, the Raw Tag Team Champions? And that, it's Seth and his ding-dong. And SmackDown is New Day. The only tag team championships that mean anything are the ones in NXT.
Yeah.
And the Brotherweights have those, so.
Yeah, the Rivals on their way out. the I think there's several that are going to be leaving the WWE.
Agreed.
Several. All right, what's our next segment?
Kyrie versus Natalia. Okay. So, like, I don't know. I thought it was like a decent match. I really like Kyrie a lot. Asuka and Kyrie did a promo at the beginning. They were just kind of like yelling in Japanese and stuff, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna beat you at Elimination Chamber." Well, Asuka was like, "I'm gonna beat you at Elimination Chamber." I love their promos. Like, I love their.
This feels too mean.
I love their promos.
What's too mean?
I love their promos.
Cena versus Elias. I don't know, the whole Elias thing I don't get. You know? I mean, that's one of those things that you know, I don't get the whole Elias.
So, Kyrie and Natalia. What did you think of this match?
It was okay.
I don't think it was bad. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just, it doesn't make a whole lot of. It makes sense in the aspect of like, what is Asuka? Because they had a match last week.
Yeah.
And Asuka did the thing, and so, like, it makes sense in that aspect, I suppose.
Do you think SummerSlam Bryan will happen? I don't know. No. Just saying. Not happening.
So I don't know. Kyrie won via countout.
I don't get why Taker vs. Styles has happened. Maybe Taker wants to fight a young guy who won't injure him. I don't understand Taker versus Styles either.
I don't either.
The whole thing just doesn't make sense. In the fact that, you know, it just seems like they I mean, I just can't see Taker wanting to fight Styles. And what's the point?
I think it's okay. I'll share my thoughts on that in a minute because we're gonna get to that segment.
What do you think of Nick Curse signing with NXT?
I've never heard of him.
I've heard of him, but I mean, it's like anyone else. It's like one of those things that you sit here and you go, are they going to add to it? So I don't know. I mean, it's it depends on how things are used, how any of them are used. I mean, like Killer Cross coming, and I don't know how.
I'm gonna have to look at that.
How will, you know? When's he gonna make his debut? How are they gonna use him? It's WWE's got to figure out how to use their wrestlers right, and NXT does a good job. But overall, like Raw and SmackDown, I don't think they use them like they should. But apparently Vince hates Nick Curse. So good luck on the main roster for him. Yeah, definitely.
Where's he like from? Like what company was he in before? Do you know? Cause like I said, I've never heard of him. But I mean, whatever, cool. If he goes to like NXT or something, that could be neat, I suppose. He was in New Japan.
Yeah.
Cool. See, that's where I haven't watched any New Japan, so I don't know a lot of this stuff. I only know, like, you know, super big names that are, you know, very well known.
Thoughts on The Miz? Miz is awesome. He's good on the mic. And so I think that's part of wrestling. I think that's one of the things about wrestling is it's one of those things that if you're good on the mic, it helps get you over, you know, with everything. So it's one of the Miz doesn't necessarily need to be a good wrestler. Right now, I think Elias is one that because of his character,
he gets over,
and it's not because of he's good in the ring. I think it's about his character more than anything. AEW is going to get a lot of people.
I think so.
Yes, James,
I think
you can.
that is, yeah.
You can add apps on the iPad.
So, too bad they're separating him and Nick Chris apart.
Yes.
So, Kyrie won via count out. Then we get Seth. This segment I actually really liked. Not gonna lie. Y'all know that I do not.
Do you think Nyla Rose should have beaten Rio?
Okay.
I'll tell you in just a minute.
So, Seth. This was actually really good. And I generally have not liked Seth's
What they did with Seth here and what they've been doing with him since they've turned him heel is awesome.
I don't love the whole stuff. Like, I haven't loved the whole Monday Night Messiah thing.
This is my daughter.
Yeah, I'm his daughter. So, what up? But I haven't loved the whole Monday Night Messiah stuff.
Ted DiBiase and MJF and one of yeah, that'd be awesome.
I haven't loved all the Monday Night Messiah stuff. Not gonna lie, I just haven't loved it. I haven't been a huge fan of it. But he comes out and he says, "Brothers and sisters, we are gathered here tonight to celebrate progress." Progress. Now, phase 1 of this movement was completed last week. We vanquished Kevin Owens, Joe.
Yes, there is, James.
And the Viking Raiders. But now the work begins. Phase 2 of this moment will not be easy. But it is necessary, and it's for the greater good. Because now, it is time
Maven, you'll learn to love your wrestling
for us to seek out the weak, seek out the lesser, and seek out the flaws in this system. Now, this is not a promise or threat or warning. This comes from my heart. If there are any other WWE superstars who will not comply, we will get rid of you. Viking Raiders then come out, and they attack AOP and Murphy. KO then gets Seth. And that's the way the segment went. I loved this segment.
Yeah.
I really did.
Well, again, what they've done with him has been really good.
Like,
it's been really good. So I think it's pretty awesome what they're doing. You know.
This would be a perfect time for Cedric and Eric Young to come out and face Seth and Buddy. You know. Okay. I saw somebody on Twitter say Cedric should join Seth to be used. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I kind of like this whole thing has been good. I think what they're doing with him is awesome. It's and I said they should have turned him like heel immediately after the whole
Fiend thing, yeah.
And so I think that would have made it huge, and I think it would have made a bigger impact on you know, the whole you know, the whole him being a heel rather than doing it the way they did it.
Yeah. That is true. Yeah. I think that would have worked better, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like, turning him right after. But see, I don't have a problem with what they did. I do and I don't. Because, like, the whole Fiend thing was, like, it made it odd. You know? Like, it was just, I don't know. I guess starting him right after would have made more sense, but I wanted the heel turn of, like, from 2014, because that was, like, my favorite Seth Rollins was when he was that, like, that type of heel, like the ha-ha-ha-ha, you know, maniacal, like, laughter and stuff. Like, and now I don't know. It's just not the same. When I think of heel Seth Rollins, I think of that heel Seth Rollins. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't know. That's what I think of when I think of heel Seth Rollins. Hell yeah, I loved when Seth tried to murder Edge on Raw. Like, that Seth Rollins was just so good, and it was my favorite. Like, for reals, though. It was the best Seth Rollins ever.
I agree.
Like, it just was. And so, I really had higher hopes for when they were going to turn him heel again, because, like, I just don't know.
I like trolls.
I don't know. I really don't know. I haven't loved the Messiah stuff. Who? Maven versus Izzy. Who would win in a shoot? Probably Izzy. So.
That's okay. I love trolls because it just adds more to our channel.
Like, I don't know. So that Seth segment was, I actually really enjoyed that. So who's going to be the next person that they, like, gather? Who's going to join up with them next?
It's a good question. I've been trying to figure out who they're going to add. A Killer Cross, you know? And so that could be one. That's who I think seems logical right now.
Mm-hmm.
Ali, possibly.
See, that's what I want to see is them, like, have them go after not only people, like, when he's like, oh, well, we're going to start phase 2 and, you know, get people
Nia
to
Jax
join us.
For a female to join, that'd be a good one.
Do, like, have Seth not only stick on Raw, but he's going to go to SmackDown and NXT and try and recruit people from there, too.
Yeah.
I think that would be so, like, smart and different, and it would make a lot of sense that he doesn't just want to stick with the people that are on Raw. Because if he goes after everybody on Raw and they're all like, no, we're not going to join you, then what does he do? He can go to SmackDown and, you know, look at everybody on SmackDown and go, you're broken. Let me fix you.
Yeah. Come
join the Messiah.
Look.
Let me, let me fix you, because I am the Messiah. Like, I think that'd be so smart if he just doesn't stick with going after people on Raw and he goes after people on all brands.
Well, and that's what I said. I think they need to do more cross-promotion with the wrestlers and stuff.
So we then get AJ.
Don't say Riddick, they're alive.
And OC. The OC is back together once again. AJ is back. I didn't even, like, think anything of this when he came out. I was like, AJ. And then it was like, oh my gosh, AJ's back. Like, AJ hasn't been here in 45 years because he got injured at the Rumble. And he hasn't
Good
been
night, James, if you haven't already left.
You know? So, like, AJ's back, so that's cool. He comes out, and Carl says AJ's Mr. WrestleMania. And then he goes through this, like, AJ does. He goes through this list of people. And he's like, oh, I'm better than blah, 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 and I'll fight anybody. And I believe he mentioned The Undertaker. I'm pretty sure he said something about The Undertaker. I was almost waiting for The Undertaker to attack him tonight and be like, no. You know?
Yeah.
So, I am...
Why does AJ want to mess with The Undertaker? I wouldn't want to mess with that guy. Because The Undertaker's 94.
He's not. He's actually like 52.
Sorry.
He's actually like 52.
I don't get the whole AJ Undertaker thing.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
doesn't...
It's not like something that I like would want to seek out. You know,
No.
like, oh, I want to see AJ versus Undertaker. That's a total dream match for me. Like, it's just
Yeah.
not. I think it'll be decent, but it's not like something that like I'm like,
unless,
woo!
You know, unless AJ would like to wrestle him just because, you know, AJ is going to be is going to be done here soon.
Yeah, he only has like a couple years left.
So maybe he wants to end or have one shot with The Undertaker.
Because he's never done that before. Yeah, I suppose so. That would
be the only reason I could see it being done.
That would make sense.
Street Profits and Owens and War Raiders versus Seth and Buddy and AOP, 2 more guys. Yes.
Yeah.
They should do Undertaker versus Sting and AJ versus Balor. That'd probably be good.
I feel like there was something said about Undertaker versus Sting.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about Undertaker Sting, but I don't know if Sting's been cleared to do anything. Super Showdown.
Yeah. But I don't. Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't know if Sting will ever be cleared again to wrestle. Sting is cleared, I hear. Well, interesting.
You'd think they'd make the match if he was ready to go.
Because I don't think Undertaker's going to be wrestling for that much longer either.
No.
Like, I just don't. So he goes through this list of people. He's like, I can beat all these guys, and I'm so much better than all these guys. Super Showdown. So Ricochet then comes out, and AJ tells Ricochet, I don't think you deserve a title shot. And Ricochet says, well, guess what? I earned a title shot, and it's Super Showdown. I plan on doing the impossible, and I will beat Brock Lesnar. And everybody's just like, sure you will. And we then get Ricochet challenges AJ to a match for tonight on Raw. Carl is like, I can't allow that, okay? I can't let AJ's first match back. See, this is what actually, AJ might not be cleared in ring. He might just be cleared to, like, go out there, which is why they didn't have him fight Ricochet tonight.
Yeah.
Which would make a whole lot of sense. So Carl's no, you will fight me instead because I said so, you goof. And so I accept your challenge.
Yeah.
I accept it, and it was cool. And so we then get Carl Anderson versus Ricochet. Ricochet won. It was kind of a squash match, but it wasn't terrible. I was kind of rooting for Carl Anderson to win, though. Not gonna lie. Guys, you have no idea how much, like, Anderson and Gallows are just, like, they're just so wasted. I just hate the fact that they do not use them the way they should be used. They are very funny guys. They are hilarious. If you have seen any of their stuff, like, some of the time when they're doing promos and they're given promo work or whatever for on there, they're really funny. They make it really funny, and then stuff outside of WWE, like in when they're on Up Up Down Down or whatever, like playing video games with Xavier Woods or whatever the case may be, they're really funny.
Yeah, they're.
Like, just give them stuff, like, just let them go out there and be funny guys. I laugh every time they're out there when they get to speak.
Well, they're good.
Because they're funny.
Yeah, when they get it used, they're pretty good.
And which is why I'm, like, so...
Adam Cole said he wants to face Styles at Mania. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad match.
Definitely not.
I think that'd be a good match. And again, it'd be another one of those things that
what is the OC?
Cole...
What the OC means. I don't know.
Cole wants
the original club, the only club that matters. Our club.
The whole Cole thing, he may be looking at wanting to fight Styles, getting a match just because, again, AJ has said that this is his last contract, and once this one's up, he's done.
Yeah. Which is crazy to think that, like,
Okay, the OC has the dollar store blow card, definitely.
It's crazy to think that this is like, AJ's, like, last run, like, and,
Yeah.
every single thing he does kind of counts. It's crazy. So we then get a Liv Morgan interview, and she's essentially like, Ruby's wrong, and I'm different now, and my eyes are set to the future, and the future is I'm going to go to Elimination Chamber, I'm going to beat the garbage out of Ruby, and then I'm going to go on to WrestleMania and fight for the Raw Women's Championship. And I'm sitting there going, sure you are. In your dreams, sister. That's never gonna happen. As much as you want it to. I'm sorry, it's never gonna happen. So that was that.
I think they're gonna, Elijah. I think they're gonna do something with Killer Cross and Seth. That whole thing. I think that's where they're gonna go with it.
I think
with him,
Liv is gonna go crazy. That's what I think.
She should have went crazy a long time ago.
She should have, but I think she's gonna go crazy now.
Having her come in as part of the Fiends group would have been a lot better than what they did with her.
I agree, but she's gonna go crazy.
Well, I think that we've determined. I mean, we never got any backstory as to the whole.
Why she went after Lana?
Yeah.
No, we didn't. Which is why I'm like, what? That's the whole problem I had with that whole thing, was the fact that we had no backstory.
And well, maybe we will. Maybe they'll come out and say. Maybe Lana will just come out and say, she's just nuts.
I think Cross is gonna be on SmackDown.
That's possible.
I think no matter where he goes, I think he's gonna be under Vince's control.
If she goes to SmackDown, she'll be lost in the whole thing, unless SmackDown changes. And Cross going to SmackDown could be a bad thing for him.
Could be. It also might be a good thing for. No, it's not gonna be a good thing for SmackDown. It's just gonna be a bad thing for Cross. That's what it's gonna
Killer
be.
Cross versus Sheamus.
I would honestly put him on.
I'd
honestly put him on Raw because I think he is everything that Vince wants. He's a big guy. He already is established. He's already made a name for himself, and Vince doesn't have to do much.
Yeah.
So if you just put that guy out there and just run with it.
No more drafts. Just start doing Cross. Have people going. Have them on their main show, but do Cross.
See, that's what I want. They can have their separate shows.
Have matches across different things, kind of like what they're doing with Charlotte and right now.
They can have their separate shows, but just use them on everything.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. We then have the main event. Kevin Owens and the Viking Raiders versus AOP and Murphy. Again, I dislike this. A lot. I dislike this so very much.
Yeah, I don't. Again, it's one of those that it just.
They're supposed to do the shake-up after WrestleMania.
Just wouldn't do the same matches over and over again, it would be okay.
This just doesn't make any sense to me. This is legit turning into Roman and Corbin.
Well, it is.
But on Raw. And it's not Roman and Corbin, it's Kevin and the Viking Raiders and AOP and Buddy Murphy.
They could make this totally different without having to have wrestling matches. They could have interference and things like that in other matches and just promos and stuff. If they're building this to be a match at WrestleMania or something, then they could have done something different with these.
I just don't like this. Ooh-hoo-hoo. I just don't like this. Ooh-hoo-hoo. So I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, neat. Seth causes the DQ, and then Seth gets on the mic and says, I told you this is what would happen if you don't comply with us. Then the Street Profits come out to help, and yeah, that's where we're left with that. So, they're supposed to do the shake-up after WrestleMania. Okay, I'm cool with that, as long as the shake-up is only, Shayna wins the Raw Women's Championship, she's still on NXT, so we need to, move her to Raw, or, moving some of those people like Dana to NXT.
Yeah.
I, too, also think
Shelton on NXT would be fun, yes.
Shelton signed a new contract, did you see that?
Dana Brooke, I did not see that.
Yeah,
Dana Brooke on NXT would be good, too.
He signed a new contract. There was a match made for Super Showdown. I believe it is the Street Profits versus Seth Rollins and Muddy Murphy. What? Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy will defend their tag team titles against the Street Profits at the Saudi show. They're probably losing them. I think they're going to drop them to the Street Profits. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Because why else do that? What is the reason?
I don't know.
Other than...
James, you're back. I knew you would be.
Like, I don't see a reason for that other than, like, let's just do it there. Cool.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Cross versus Brock with Paul Heyman, but Heyman helps Cross beat Brock. Boom, Cross is Heyman's new guy. Possible. I don't know if Brock will still be around. I mean, that's the question. For the title in a retirement match. Yeah, that'd be, I don't know. Would he stick around that long?
I hope not.
From what I've heard, he kind of ready to get out of it.
I'm okay with that. Go away, Brock. I'll be the first to put a petition up for let's get Brock out of the business quicker. Like next week. Like, let's just push this forward just a smidge, So, that was the show.
Yes, that was it. I don't know that we have any other news.
Oh, there was, the Super Showdown card currently is The New Day versus Miz and Morrison, Brock versus Ricochet, Roman versus Corbin in a steel cage match, Bray Wyatt versus Goldberg, AJ Styles versus Andrade versus Bobby Lashley versus Eric Rowan versus R-Truth versus Rusev in a gauntlet match for the Twig Trophy, Bayley versus Carmella or Naomi, probably Carmella, for the Women's Championship, and Seth Rollins and Murphy versus the Street Profits for the Raw Tag Team Championships. That is the card currently. I don't think there's anything else, like, important. The only other thing I can think of that, like, happened today was, I think it was Tegan.
Let's not get Brock out. Rusev and Matt on the way to leave WWE. I know Matt's going to be leaving for sure. Rusev, I know, is not happy.
And he hasn't signed his new
Lashley's probably not happy. I mean, I could see all those guys leaving, and if they go to AEW, man.
Oh, toast.
AEW just would have picked up quite a bit there.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny how Brock leaves and comes back and everyone is happy, then gets mad that it doesn't show up a lot. Like, come on, what you get with him.
So I think
I don't like Brock anyway.
I just don't like Brock.
Yeah.
So the other thing that I saw on Twitter, and I didn't see the whole thing, like all the tweets and stuff, but it was someone dug up Tegan's old tweets that she made when she was like a teenager and she was watching wrestling and stuff. People made a big deal out of them, talking about she was trashing on everybody. Now, I didn't see the tweets, so I don't know what was said, but from what I got from it, it sounded like they were just, like, crapping on her because she was, like, crapping on the women's division at the time.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of like, dude, I do that.
Yes.
Normal wrestling fans do that, and if she's just like a wrestling fan, then why are we making such a big deal out of it? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So I think that was the only other thing that was like happening that was like newsworthy. I don't think there's anything else on Twitter. Currently, my phone's about to die, so I can't look on my phone. So I'm gonna look on your phone real quick.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Awesome. Stealing my phone.
Sorry.
And not using your phone.
See, my phone was
dead.
Almost dead. It's at 2%. But I don't think there's anything else.
All right. I think that is it.
Oh, the Women's Elimination Chamber match that was announced today. It's Shayna versus Sarah Logan versus Ruby Riott versus Liv Morgan versus Natalya and Asuka. Those are the 6 women in the Women's Elimination Chamber match. It should be good. We all know Shayna's winning, so it really doesn't make a difference. But it should be a good match.
Yes. I'm watching WWE Backstage just because Keith Lee is going to be on. Yeah, that might be a good one.
Yeah, he's on. It's tomorrow.
Yes.
He's on tomorrow.
Might be a good Backstage.
It might be. It might be.
All right, guys. I think that's pretty much it. For those that came in and trolled, we appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Can be a good elimination chamber. Honestly, I think it's gonna be a good elimination chamber. For being like a thrown together pay-per-view like 2 weeks beforehand, I think it'll be a decent
we'll see how it
situation.
goes. I mean, the problem is like they're throwing this all together in the last like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I can't share the show. I'm using my Android instead of my iPhone. Hey, that's cool, James.
I just finished
no problem.
watching Ruthless Aggression on the WWE Network.
Hey, you know what? If you had an iPad, you'd be able to share the show.
I've heard
Just saying.
Mixed stuff on the Ruthless Aggression thing. I haven't watched any of it, but I've heard mixed thoughts and reactions and stuff to it. So.
Yes. It's about Cena.
So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. I think we will be back on Wednesday. So for everybody, all of our regulars, you guys rock.
Thanks for
sticking
awesome. Around.
Hey, thanks for stopping in, Veggie.
Yes. Thank you for stopping.
Have a good one.
Yes.
For all of our regulars, you guys are awesome. For all of you trolls, you guys are awesome too. We appreciate it. And we want everybody to have a good night. And we will see you NWA tomorrow. Woo, finally. I don't know if we'll do a show or not. Probably won't do a show tomorrow.
Probably won't do a show because you have to go out of town.
Yeah, I'll be out of town tomorrow.
My brother has a doctor's appointment.
Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta take her brother up to the children's hospital to have him looked at now. So
yeah.
So it's the excitement that takes place in our family is just
the excitement never
ends.
On
the go all the time.
Yes.
So,
yes. That's pretty accurate.
With that, we are out of here.
Peace out, guys.
Peace.